Hi, everyone. Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff in our new weather lab. We are streaming live coverage. We're not on the air because we've got a storm that's in southwestern Sequoyah County that just got issued as a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, we're getting ready for the 5 o'clock newscast, and this weather pattern has been absolutely relentless, to say the least. Now, you might notice that I've got my tornado tie on. Earlier, just a few minutes ago, there in fact was a tornado warning. Let's go ahead and we'll bring this up and we'll show you exactly what we're talking about. And so we'll bring up, first of all, live Doppler radar. I'll be able to adjust this and you'll be able to see what we've got. But there was a tornado warning that was issued earlier that was just to the west of Sequoyah County. So it did not include Sequoyah County, just to let you know. That since expired at about 4:11. So it was a quick fuse tornado warning that was issued. And that was radar indicated. There were some rotation signs. And then on top of that, there was a tornado possible tag with a severe thunderstorm warning that's just about ready to expire. However, this is still a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Sequoyah County. So yes, I know people are seeing the comments and they're immediately saying, tornado tie. I'm not expecting widespread tornadoes, especially in northwest Arkansas. However, that one storm does have a little bit of rotation with it, and so we're watching that closely. So this was earlier. Yeah, I'm going to bring this up full so you can see it in full detail. But as you can see, we've adjusted our stream. Let me know if the audio is good. Hopefully the audio is working well. We haven't really having a whole lot of test runs with this, but hope you're having a good Sunday. What a crazy storm it was last night into early this morning. Yesterday afternoon, storms like crazy. I was enjoying the lightning show. There was quite a bit of lightning, to say the least. But I can see some of the comments, and yeah, it does look still pretty strong. We're going to take a look at that here on Heil Heating and Cooling Mega Doppler. And so let's go ahead and we'll go to that. And so here's a look at Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. And we'll take a look at these storms across the area, especially in southwestern Sequoyah County. So just barely clipping southwestern Sequoyah County. This is on Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. We got a severe thunderstorm warning, goes another 32 minutes. So this will go until about 5 o'clock. And the storm earlier had some pretty large hail, golf ball size possible. Now this golf ball size hail has dropped down in size, I think, as this storm is starting to weaken somewhat, not entirely. Let's go ahead and do a split screen on this. We'll take a look at the circulation. And there still is definitely a circulation on the southwest side of this storm, just to the southwest of Tomahawk. If this does get tornado warm, it will most likely include southern Sequoyah County. Right now, we are not on the air on TV because this warning does not really include, there's no tornado warning, number one. And number two is the storm is still a little bit southwest of Sequoyah County in our far western weather coverage area. So something that we're watching. And again, just give me one comment and let me know if you're hearing anything in terms of our audio, if the audio sounds good or not. But there's a look at Max 2 with again, we're in our new weather lab. This is what's great about this, is that I can control everything right here in front of me while I'm on camera, while we'll be able to go on the air really rapidly if anything. So Josh Rugger is on here. He said, sounds outstanding. So that's good. Audio good on YouTube. So yes, audio is good. Perfect. All right, great. Hopefully that doesn't drop off. Love it. Okay, don't need to comment anymore on that. Let's get back to Mega Doppler here. I'm going to take the camera off the screen so you're able to see exactly this radar in full and nothing's getting covered up. But I'm just letting you know we're working in the weather lab, and so here's this area of rotation that's showing up. We'll take a look at this. This is still pretty stout, so this could easily prompt another tornado warning, and if it does, we'll track it. We'll let you know where it's headed. But Tomahawk, just to the south of Sequoyah County, is going to be potentially impacted by this. So we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for Haskell County, and this is where the storm is mainly located. So northern Haskell and southwestern and southern Sequoyah County with a severe thunderstorm warning that's considerable. It's moving to the east at 24 knots. Let me make sure I've got on the storm relative velocity that I set my storm motion from the warning, so we can get the latest on what it actually looks like. And so a lot of inflow into this storm. but not a lot of rear flank downdraft as of this point. So that's maybe a good sign. Let's go back in time when it was a little bit more intense, when it had the tornado warning that was prompted. And so here you're going to see this is a pure cell interaction that took place. So check this out. Here's the circulation. This was a little bit before or a little bit after looks like 3:30. So this was just a little while ago here. At about 3:30, tornado warning was issued. And right there is the circulation. And that's pretty intense right there, just to the north of Porham. Again, this is located west of Sequoyah County, and this is for McIntosh County. So if you're wondering exactly where that is, you got northeastern McIntosh County, and then you've got Haskell County and Sequoyah County. So it's right in the group and the cluster of those storms. This was earlier. This was just a little before 4 o'clock that tornado warning was issued. And then there's the warning that was issued. And so the only county that warning was included in was Muskogee County. So southeastern Muskogee County was included in that tornado warning. And then that warning kind of dying off, and then you could see the storm getting absorbed from additional storms. And so that's why that tornado warning was dropped. Now, we currently have a lot of inflow, which is a sign that maybe this storm is cycling and ramping up. But this is not a QLCS, believe it or not. So this is actually a supercell. This is a full-fledged supercell thunderstorm that's got some rotation. There's definitely a lot of upper-level energy coming in. There's a lot of wind shear. There's a lot of instability. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look here at some of the things in terms of where these thunderstorms are located. And also, we're going to take a more wider view. Now, keep in mind, I am going to have to drop off this stream here as long as there's no tornado warning, because I have to get ready for our 5 o'clock newscast. Obviously, the heavy rain that fell in northwest Arkansas overnight into this morning causing, let's just say, chaos at Pinnacle Country Club. The Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G X'd out, canceled after 18 holes. We had a feeling, not necessarily that would happen, but we knew the forecast was going to be pretty active. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at that. That's not a bad idea. Let's take a look at the SIGTOR. Honestly, I think the models are probably not going to be handling that very well. Okay, so we got an update to the severe thunderstorm warning. And the severe thunderstorm warning does have tornado possible. So let me go ahead and we'll bring this up, as we got a severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible. It goes until 4:20. So these are some short fused warnings. And it makes sense because the environment is there, but it's not fully there, if that makes sense. So you've got a storm that will basically ramp up pretty quickly, will start to circulate, and then dissipate pretty quick. So that was a short fused tornado warning earlier, shortly after 4 o'clock. And now here we're approaching, it looks like 4:33. And we've got additional storms that are developing. All right, so let's take a look at a wide view. I know a lot of you are asking, like for instance, any tornadoes in Gravette or Hiwassee? And the answer is on that, no. So let's take a look here on Howell Heating and Cooling Mega Doppler. We'll go back to one frame. We'll watch that storm closely. And by the way, they have dropped that considerable severe thunderstorm warning. So that is good news for that. So no more considerable severe thunderstorm warning. But let's take a look here at Howell Heating Cooling Mega Doppler, and in the northwest Arkansas area, more storms. Now here's the deal. There's a concert at the Walmart Amp. Just talked with concert organizers, and they're going to try to put this concert on, but wait until maybe after 8:30. So it might be a little bit later. It might be a later concert. I don't know all the details. I gave them the advice that there may be a window after these storms move out. So let's take a look here at northwest Arkansas and kind of zoom in. And so these do not have tornado potential. Lightning, absolutely. In fact, you can see the lightning. In fact, there's not even really any hail with this. So if we look at the maximum expected hail size, these storms are not as intense. There's just not as much instability. And we'll take a look at that here in just a bit. But this storm right here that's approaching Decatur, that's already over Decatur, as a matter of fact. Let's see if that has any rotation with it. So very, very weak, slight rotation. But remember, that's probably not going to do anything. Just not really there. It's on the leading edge. It's on the outer edge of the storm. Let's look at spectrum width. There's some on the spectrum width, but we might have to switch radars and look at that from Tulsa. So all this is just thunderstorm activity. All this is just a little bit of, noisy storms, if you will, nuisance storms for outdoor activities, for golf, or anything else that you want to do. Maybe take a run around the neighborhood. But no, these are not severe and not expected to be severe. Then we work our way south. We got one little cluster of storms. It looks like this might be falling apart as it kind of looks more outflow dominant. And so that outflow dominant means that you have basically winds rushing out away from the storm, which is cutting off the inflow. And you can kind of tell that's the case. Let's see if there's any type of cell interactions. It's still a pretty intense circulation that might need to be watched. And it looks like maybe even a little bit of what we call rear flank downdraft starting to develop. So maybe this could be prompting another tornado possible, which we already know that's been issued. That goes until 4:20. And we'll see if the Tulsa Weather Service issues something on this. Okay, now I know you're wanting a track. So we know that this storm is moving at about 30 miles per hour. Let's take a look here at the very latest warning, and we can get an idea on this. It says it's moving east at 15, but I think it's moving a lot faster than that, maybe 25 miles per hour. I mean, maybe initially it was moving that slow, but I think it's sped up a little bit. So with that being said, let's do this. Let's put a storm track on this. Let's go to, we're going to go do the duration, and I'm going to go 30 miles per hour. Or just on the safe side, let's just do 25. So we'll do 25. In fact, let me set the storm motion from the warning because it looks like maybe they updated it. Yeah, so there's the new one. Here's what I want to do. Here's what I'm going to do. To make sure that this has the proper storm motion, not just taking it from the warning, I want to actually see how fast the circulation's moving. So this is how you do this. You place marker here. We go back a few frames. Since it's going to be a pretty persistent circulation, we'll go here and then we'll right click and we'll set the storm motion from the marker. And it looks like that circulation is actually moving only at 13 knots, which is about 20 miles per hour. Looks like maybe some cell interaction too that's starting to develop. So let's do a track on this as it moves east-northeast. Let me show you who's going to be impacted by this cell. So this is who needs to be watching out for this cell. We're going to bring this up on max 1 so you can see the storm track. So we've got tornado possible, goes until 4:20 with a severe thunderstorm warning. But those are the areas that are going to be impacted. So come on, is this going off of Central Time? That doesn't seem correct anymore. Hold on just a sec. Let me go to now. Let me adjust this. Go to the latest update. There we go. Okay, we're good. So there's the most dangerous portion of the storm. 4:44 Tomahawk. That's just in a few minutes. You got Red Hill at 4:49. And then you've got Brent at 5:08. Blackjack 5:30, Lone Oak 5:42. Okay, let me do this. Bring this up full so you can see that. There's live Doppler radar. I don't think it's sleeting. It's not sleet. It's cool. It definitely feels cool with the rain, but it's small hail. Sleeting is when it's a little bit colder outside. And there's a difference between sleet and hail, by the way. And we could talk about that in just a second. But there's the track of that storm as it moves east. I'm going to continue to watch this rotation. And it's still there. It's still pretty persistent. And just to show you what we're talking about here on Howell Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. So I'm going to bring this up on max 2. You know what? I'll tell you what. We could do max 1 and max 2. Let's do that. Max 1 and max 2. And I'm going to bring this up, and we're going to take a look at Mega Doppler with that rotation. And so you can kind of see the information that's on there. Now, I know that might be pretty small on your banner, but just to show you that we're tracking that on your tablet or on your iPhone or on your Android or on your cell phone, smartphone, it's going to be some pretty small information. But that's the circulation that we're watching, which is in northern Haskell County. That's what we need. So this is what Josh just said. Very weak low-level winds. needed cell interactions for this storm to take off. And the storm to the south is trying to make that happen on the southwest side of the storm. Bit of a nudger. So nudgers is where, this is a great way to put it. Let me go ahead and bring this up on Max 2 with PCR. So a nudger is, it's not basketball season, but I think some Hog football fans are ready for basketball season already. But a nudger is where you have a basketball on your finger, and in order to spin that, you hit it on the side. If you hit it on the side, that basketball will start spinning. If you hit it straight on, it'll knock that basketball off your finger. So that nudger and this rotation is starting to increase a little bit, just as Josh mentioned, a little bit of a nudger coming in. This could prompt a tornado warning. If it does, we're going to go on the air and we'll cover that storm straight through the warning expiration time, which will probably be around 5:15 if this does, in fact, get issued. As a matter of fact, I've got to bring up here. We'll bring this up full so you can see that. That's Holly Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. Let's do a split screen on this. And now we're starting to see some towards and away. Now, this probably won't last long, but it's enough where this could prompt another tornado warning. Rotation is definitely there. Base velocity is there. You can see the rotation on that. On the left side is base velocity. When you add the storm motion, which is not super fast, about 20 miles per hour, you look at the normalized rotation, then you look at spectrum width. All of those ingredients are showing up that this storm is definitely one to watch. There's no doubt about that. Now, is there any type of debris signature? No. Let's see if there's any type of PTDS at all. No. So we know there's not anything on the ground yet, but this could prompt a new tornado warning. So this is something to watch for sure. This storm will not impact Rudy. So we did a track on that. We still have that track available. I'm going to zoom in a little more so you can see this track and where it is. But the area of circulation is south of Tamaha, which is exactly where I have this. Severe thunderstorm warning until 5 o'clock. So brand new severe thunderstorm warning was issued not too long ago. It is a tornado possible. It's a low-end severe thunderstorm, meaning winds 60 miles per hour. Also, the potential for hail size about $0.50. There's the area of rotation. And this has been persistent rotation. So we can actually look at that if we look at the rotation indication, and we'll look at what's called shear tracks. Now, this is over time. Over 1 hour, you'll see as this populates on the screen, you'll see a little bit of rotation showing up, which is indicative of this storm that's had some rotation with it. And so that is right over basically Haskell County, but the warning never did include Sequoia County. So if you're wondering why didn't we go on the air, well, it never really included Sequoia County. So that is exactly why we're watching this storm. But if you're just joining this stream and you're wondering what's going on, we got one storm that's a little pesky in the River Valley with a tornado possible. It does not look like this is going to be impacting Fort Smith. At the time, it's moving a little bit more easterly, but it is getting closer. So if it holds together, it could be moving into Fort Smith. We'll see if that happens. I'll take a look at the track and we'll let you know. So let's go back and we'll take a look at this storm. So let's go on Max 1 here. So there you can see the rotation track of this cell. Rotation track showing up, that rotation track moving eastward. Circulation's getting stronger on the latest Mega Doppler source, and I'll show you that here in just a bit. We'll have to see if we have any visuals on this. Let's track this out. Let's move it over the next 2 hours. So let's say it does hold together. This is when it would be moving into the Fort Smith area. Let me get this comment off the screen. And Fort Smith, 6 o'clock in the evening. So I think I'm going to have to tell my discipleship group no go on this. At this point, we were holding doors till 6:30. Okay, so the Walmart amp, they're holding the doors closed until 6:30, which means they're just going to see what happens. I told them just look at the hourly radar in that point. Alex Hall, nice. I'm glad you love the new setup. That's cool. You guys are welcome on that. Yeah, so a storm that's a little pesky to say the least. Now, because Josh mentioned those cell interactions, they have to be more, to keep this storm sustained, as you will. So it is going kind of right down I-40. It's a little south of I-40. Let's take a detailed look at Megadoppler. So here's a detailed look at Megadoppler. I will bring the camera off the screen just so you can see that a little bit better. But here's a detailed look at Megadoppler, and I-40 is a little bit north of there. And so here's I-40. And this is going to be crossing south of I-40. If it does make it to I-40, it would be near Muldrow. There's that circulation, though. I'm going to zoom way in. We can tell you some streets on here. Let's plot some stuff here so you can see exactly where this is at. So we've got County Road 4500 south of Tamaha. We got County Road 4520, so North 4520 Road in Sequoyah County. Then you see this right here. There's no roads at all. So this is kind of a little bit of a rural area. But Tamaha, I wouldn't be surprised if the tornado sirens are sounding. Okay. So yeah, Kelly, I answered that. Is it going down I-40? Well, that circulation is looking really ominous. Josh, I think you would agree. Oh, looks like the circulation's starting to weaken just on the last scan. Did you see that? And Josh is mentioning that there's a smaller storm to the south that could be a player if it catches up to the southwest side. You know what that player is? That would be a basketball player. So let's see here. There's that circulation. Let's look at the latest on this radar. I do want to look at the velocity from INX too. I mean, obviously, SRX is the best one to do. Yeah, see, that doesn't really show up because it's a lot higher up off the ground. Looking at the last radar image, I don't think that's going to prompt tornado potential. But watch this over the last hour. You can see that area rotation really showing up. But the strongest one of the day was a little before 4 o'clock. And once again, it was another cell nudger that came in from the southwest and that prompted that tornado warning. And there it was right there. You can see the circulation. So what you're looking at here is this. What this means is red colors are moving away from the radar, green color is moving towards. So there is your circulation. And obviously that's called a couplet. It's called a velocity couplet. Now you aren't able to tell when the winds are moving this way because that's parallel to the radar beam. And you can't tell when the winds are moving this way because that's parallel to the radar beam. But you can tell when the winds are moving this way because that's away and when they're towards. So that is exactly why you get only the towards and away, because if you're driving, let's say you've got two people driving on the highway and they parallel each other, well, they're never getting closer to each other or farther away. They're just the same distance, which is exactly what's kind of happening with the radar beam. So yeah, guys, we're watching this closely. Now, here's the deal. Lack of low-level winds keeping it from going nuts. But this is a good test run. So let me ask you this. Not storm related. What would you like to see in our live stream that we could work on to make it a little bit better? See, we can also do this too. We can bring up this webcam. And so you can kind of see behind the scenes. Now, looks like maybe this cam might be glitching out a little bit, but this can also track us as well. So we can get a shot of the studio. You can kind of see some behind the scenes stuff as well. And then we can go right back to our weather lab shot right here. Yeah, that is right. Josh is on the ball here. He's tweeting away. He's like a offensive coordinator calling some play calls. Which, by the way, what happened to the Packers losing to the Browns? They blew it. I can't wait to see the highlights for that, or the lowlights, I guess, if you will. All righty. So, you know, to be honest with you, Brendan, isn't every storm big time? But yeah, Tuesday actually could be a really heavy rain event. And we actually have some upper level energy, and we've got some upper level support. So we've got a lot of stuff going on, and there's no doubt Max Velocity, Ryan Hall, y'all, all those people will be tracking those storms. But I will say this. We were one of the first ones that talked about how rainy this weather pattern would be when a lot of forecasts from last week, Saturday, really didn't have a whole lot of rain. So we'll continue to watch it, and we'll continue to update. And, I even mentioned how I didn't really believe that Climate Prediction Center forecast showing below normal precipitation and above normal temperatures. Now we're looking at maybe low to mid 70s for highs. So Tuesday will be a significant rain event along with an underrated threat for severe weather. We were all over this. You got it. Let's take a look at that real quick, and then I've got to get to – it looks like this storm is starting to weaken, thankfully. But I got to get to, starting to show. I'm off the top, and we're talking about storms, and we're talking about how much rainfall fell at the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G, because it was insanity how much rain fell. So let's do this real quick. Let's do it one more time where we do a scan on Live Radar Wind so you can see everything. So here's a look at the latest severe thunderstorm warning. There's that circulation that's south of Tomahawk. If we look at the live shear, it's going to be a lot weaker and probably start to dissipate. We'll wait till this loads. There you can see the live shear. It's still there, but fairly weak. If we look at the shear tracks, you'll see that's also there, but it's weakening. And so this is in northern Muskogee or Haskell County, Northern Haskell County is where this severe thunderstorm warning is, and southern Sequoia County. Still have a tornado possible. This does expire in 8 minutes. So we'll be watching that closely. Now, here's the deal. We've got our 5 o'clock newscast. We've got a lot of rain that's across the area. That rain is not severe. It's just providing widespread rain and thunderstorm activity. And that lightning is going to be a problem for any type of outdoor activity. So I don't think that we are going to be keeping the tornado tie on. I think that was just a real quick thing. But let's take a look here at next Tuesday. So basically this upcoming Tuesday. Here's the severe weather risk for today. We'll zoom out a little bit so you can see. So here's the severe weather risk for today. And you can see how that's a level 1. Tornado, no tornado potential according to this, but there was cell interactions and just a little upper level energy. The risk for tomorrow includes a slight risk out west, and then the day 3 outlook has a marginal. Let's look at the day 3 probabilities. So they still show low. However, look at this Weather Prediction Center precipitation forecast. We're talking pretty heavy rain. And the Weather Prediction Center 2 and Weather Prediction Center 1. So these are all heavy rain events. We already know we got a heavy rain event last night. And like I said, I've got to get ready for that newscast. So here is a look at the QPF, the Weather Prediction Center QPF. Let's let this load. And let's see how much is expected. This is on top of what we've already seen. So we've got some heavy rain coming our way. Josh, it cracked me up when you sent that tweet, like, beautiful weather for Notre Dame as we lose by more than 14. Enjoy. That's what you said. But yeah, Josh is talking about highs in the upper Notre Dame by 14 plus. That cracked me up. So we've got more storms. There's no doubt there's more storms in the forecast, but here's the deal. I've got to get this forecast done for the news. So on that note, I'm going to stop this stream. I'll watch that storm. If it does get tornado warned, we'll pop back on. We'll let you know. I'll keep all this stuff up. But we'll start our newscast, so join in at 5 o'clock, and we'll have the very latest. Until then, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. We've got a lot of rain coming, over 4 to 5 inches of additional rain and a potential for 5 to 7. So a lot of this happens Tuesday morning. Widespread rain Tuesday morning. Big complex too. Okay, guys, take care. God bless, and we'll see you later.